Does Mercury retrograde make you want to slap people, or is that just me? It's just me. Because I feel like, you know, they tell you all the time, like, Mercury retrograde brings up, like, miscommunications and all that. But does it really? Or does it just bring up everybody's raw emotion? And now that your emotion is sitting right here on the outside surface, you're saying the things that you really feel, right? Because Mercury retrograde really be pulling people away or out of the things and the spaces and the people and the places that just don't align with them, or that they've outgrown, or just, you know, whatever the case may be. So if that is the case, and we all know that, like, Mercury retrograde is coming around, like, you might be releasing some people, some places, and some things, like, is that how they always felt about you? Like, were these feelings always in the back of their minds, and now that it's Mercury retrograde and other things are irritating them, they feel the space and opportunity to say how they really feel? I don't know, food for thought, you know? And it don't even be what people say. It be how they say it. Like, Mercury retrograde comes around and y'all just lose your mind and don't know how to talk to people anymore, and I don't understand that. I'll never understand. But Mercury is my planet, so I guess I don't hit me the way that it hits y'all. For me, when I feel Mercury retrograde, I feel Mercury retrograde like the week before it hits, and it's always like some crazy, I don't even know, like some crazy electronic miscommunication or mishap happens, travels, you know, things like that. But like, this Mercury retrograde got y'all going crazy. And I'm gonna just need everybody to catch themselves. Catch it. But why all of a sudden is Mercury retrograde an excuse for y'all to get crazy? I don't get it. I don't get it, because you wasn't acting like this 2 weeks ago. This isn't my personal story. I'm just saying. When Mercury retrograde happens, I be trying to stay in the house, and not because of the miscommunications and the mishaps, but solely for the fact that, one, I know I'm irritable all the time, but like when Mercury retrograde comes around, I think my irritation level goes up a little bit, which is probably true for most people. But my irritation level going up and people's common sense level going down just doesn't equal go outside. It just doesn't equal go outside, because me healing, and I'm trying to do better with myself. Update on my glow up. We're still struggling to get up at 6 o'clock. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Not because I can't get up at 6 o'clock. It's because other, we'll say, external things have been impeding on my schedule, so I haven't been able to fully follow my schedule to a T. So either I'm gonna have to start getting like real strict about this, like are you time blocked? No? Well, then I can't talk to you. Or I'm gonna have to find a happy medium and balance, you know, duality. So sometimes it's okay not to follow the schedule. And like, as long as the things are still getting done, then I'm fine, right? Like, as long as whatever was on the to-do list, the priority list for that day got done, then the fact that I didn't wake up at 6 o'clock is okay. So I'm really learning to like offer me grace, give myself patience, because one thing that I really have noticed about myself is I am so patient with other people, and then as soon as it comes to like myself getting work done, handling business, waking up at 6 o'clock, I'm like, girl, what is you doing? Like, why haven't we done this already? Whereas like if it were somebody else, I'd be like, oh, you know, sometimes shit happens, you know. Like, why don't I offer that same grace to myself? We need to dive into that. Like, why am I more patient with other people? That's to be continued. When I find the answer, we will talk about it. That's like I was talking to a friend recently. We were talking about how it's easier to do something or find the motivation to do something when you're doing it for somebody else rather than when you're doing it for yourself. And I think that's the same, like they go hand in hand. Like the fact that I don't have the same amount of patience and grace with myself that I would give to the next person goes hand in hand with the fact that I find it easier to motivate myself to get up and do something when it's for someone else rather than when it's for me. And is that like societal conditioning? Are they like, you know, like trying not to be selfish or trying to be selfless and like basically being a martyr for your, like, to yourself when you're out here like helping everybody else? You know what I mean? Like almost a detriment to yourself. Is that a healer's problem? It's a giver's problem, huh? Givers have a very hard time receiving. Most of us, not all of us, but givers have a very hard time receiving because you're always in the energy of giving. And then when people give to you, it's like an uncomfortable situation. Like it took me years to get comfortable with even receiving like compliments and stuff. Like I used to just like brush them off like, oh, tee. Now I'm like, aha, thank you, girl. You know what I mean? Like in full receptivity of even like the small compliments that you get on the street from strangers and things like that. Because I feel like if you are not open to receiving the small blessings and the small compliments or energies that come to you, then you're telling the universe that you are not open to receive the bigger blessings that they have in store, right? Like if my hands and my heart are so closed or closed so tight to where someone gave me a compliment on the street and I wasn't comfortable to receive that, then I feel like that's telling spirit like, okay, well, sorry, my dog. I feel like that's telling spirit like, okay, well, you don't want to receive the bigger stuff because I tried to give you this little nugget and you couldn't even handle that. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't even open yourself up to receiving that. So I'm not gonna waste my time sending you big blessings that you've been asking for if you can't receive the little ones. So I've really been working in on myself of just being open to receiving all of the small things that are given to me. All of the small things. I honestly have a really hard time receiving like gifts and presents from people. I don't know why. I don't know what that is. Like, I know that like people love me and they want to share that love in gifts and in giving. And I receive them, but in my head, like it makes me feel like, okay, now I have to do something for this person because this person gave me this. Even though I know, for the most part, I know that that is not the person's intention when they give me a gift. Like, you know what I mean? When people give you a gift, usually it's like out of the kindness of their heart, or, oh, I was in the store and I saw this thing and it reminded me of you and I knew it would spark joy for you, so here. But like, I don't know, something in my little mind is just like, well, now we have to do something nice for them. And I don't know, it's kind of like reciprocity, but at the same time, it's not, because I shouldn't feel like that. I shouldn't feel like I'm obligated to do something for someone because they chose to do something nice for me. Like, I should just be okay with receiving whatever they gave me fully and openly and authentically. And then when and if the time comes for me to reciprocate that energy, then I can. But I shouldn't feel like I have to do it once that they've given or done something nice for me. But as a giver, it's just something that like, we're working on it. Let's be real. Like, acceptance is the first step. So we've accepted that this is something we need to deal with within ourselves, because at the end of the day, it's only you. Like, you got you, period. Even if you're married, if you're single, if you have a family, if you, whatever your case is, it's you and you until the day you die, right? And so, like, why don't we feel the need to be a little more selfish? I feel like there has been a negative connotation put on the idea of being selfish. But if you are not on some level selfish and giving and pouring into yourself, maybe not right now, but at some point, you're not even going to be able to be selfless because your cup is empty, you know? So I'm really trying to find the balance. Here we go again. Balancing out the Gemini. I'm really trying to find the balance of selfishness and selflessness, because you have to, duality is important. You have to have both to survive in this crazy egotistical world. You have to. Like, there is no way around that. If you're not first giving and pouring into and loving on yourself, how then can you expect to truly, genuinely pour into and love on anybody else? If you don't even have that within you, like if you're not giving that to you, how are you giving that to somebody else? And then if you are giving that to somebody else, you're only giving them half or a quarter or whatever little sip was left in your cup, because you're not filling your cup up. So even giving to somebody from a place where you don't give to yourself first is half-assed. One, because there is no way to give wholly if you don't give to yourself first. But I think also, and two, that's the negative connotation of being selfish. It's selfish of you not to pour into yourself so that you can be of yourself before you give to anyone else. And whether that's a relationship, whether that's a business, whether that's friendship, family, whatever, like if you are not giving to yourself fully, you cannot give to anybody else fully. And that in itself is selfish. To like continue to pour into someone knowing that you can't pour into them fully and wholly because you're not even full and whole within yourself, because you're not feeding you. We're working on that though. And I think it's coming to a head, because I'm at the point where it's like I said yesterday, like this little light of mine, it's going to shine. And anybody who has a problem with the way it's shining or the fact that it's that bright, you gotta go. You could go anywhere else, because this little light of mine that is shining so bright so it could be a beacon of light for anybody else who needs inspiration or spark from the light that I shine. But if I don't pour into me authentically, wholly every day, if I'm not sitting with myself tea time and video journaling regularly to get my thoughts, get my emotions, get myself together, then I can't be that light for anybody else, because I can't even be that light for myself. Preacher. I'm just saying. It's like something that I've come to the realization about like a while ago, just noticing that like it really is hard for me to receive in most capacities of life. But it is nothing for me to give, almost over giving of myself. And I've come to this awareness, and now it's just more so like me actively noticing and taking accountability for when I'm over giving. Me actively noticing and taking accountability for when I am under giving to myself. And then taking the correct actions and steps to fix that and to switch those roles, right? Like, sips tea, honey, because I don't know, that's still a challenge for me. That's honestly like one of my hardest challenges. And do you want to know something crazy? I don't know exactly what placement it is in my natal chart. I was reading my natal chart and it told me that based off of this placement, like I am automatically and naturally just like a martyr. And they were like, honestly, if you're not careful with this, it will be to your own detriment. And let me tell you, before I knew anything about natal charts, before I was diving deep into my astrological life map, okay, I was like really giving and giving and giving and giving and depleting myself and still trying to get like literally to a T to the detriment of myself. And it was like, I didn't even recognize it. I didn't even see it in myself until I got this app. I use Nebula. I got this app and it really broke it down for me. And I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, I don't love that for me. We're gonna fix that. So now it's like me recognizing that it's even deeper rooted than I'm selfish and selfless and giving and receiving. Like, this shit is in my chart. Like, this shit is, hello? Scotty beamed me down with this shit. So like, it's really me figuring out how to recognize that part of myself, how to accept that part of myself, and then how to pour love into that part of myself so that part of myself doesn't feel the need to overgive, to overgenerate, right? Like, if I'm not pouring love into that part of myself, then that part of myself is going to go look for love elsewhere, right? Is going to look for what I'm not pouring into myself from external sources, which at that aspect of myself is giving and giving some more. You know what I mean? So if I'm not pouring love into that aspect of myself actively, that aspect of myself is going to just give and give and give and give to people until I'm depleted, because that aspect of myself feels like it will receive love from giving to people, which is not entirely incorrect, right? But also very trash. Very trash if you ask me, because I shouldn't, you shouldn't, nobody should have to give to the point of depleting themselves to make someone love them or to feel like they're receiving some kind of love. And I apologize to me for even going through that shit for as many years as I did, because I really did. And it wasn't even just like in relationship, it was literally in every aspect of life. Like, if you asked me to do it, I was doing it. If I had to struggle to do it, I was still gonna do it because I said I was gonna do it. And now I'm at the point where like, nah. It's literally my favorite word. No is such a beautiful word, and people should say it way more often. And it's not a cuss word. Like, I would, let me run that back. No is not a cuss word. And anybody who is offended by you saying no, I don't want to tell you what to do, but like, girl, let it go. Let them go. Like, what? No is an instant boundary. And it was very hard for me in the beginning to say no to people because I didn't have no boundaries. Like, I didn't even know what boundaries were. I didn't know the need for like, what is it? Why would I do that? Why wouldn't I do that? There is so much peace of mind in setting your boundaries. There is so much peace of mind in simply saying no. No because I can't. No because I don't want to. No because I'm tired. No because I said so. Because no means no. On every aspect of life, it don't even gotta be just like no means no in a sexual sense. No means no in every sense. Period. Say no. Say no. Say no. If it doesn't spark joy, if it doesn't feel good in here when you hear about it, say no. Like, if someone's feelings is hurt, then someone's feelings is hurt, because you have to protect your own peace. You have to protect your own mind, okay? You have to protect your sense of self. And so if someone asks you to do something for them, if someone asks you to give in some way, if someone anything that doesn't feel good up in here, if my body doesn't literally start vibrating with excitement when I hear an idea or a suggestion, no. Like, no. And it took a very long time for me to get here, which I love it here. I'm pretty sure there are plenty of people who do not love it here for me, but that's because those were the people who were benefiting off of me not having no damn boundaries, right? So now I have these boundaries and they can't benefit no more and they mad, and that's the first sign. Look, if you set your boundaries with anybody, family, friends, lovers, it doesn't matter. If you set your boundaries with someone and they do not respect that boundary, baby, they do not fully respect you. They can't. They respect the energy that you give them. They respect the time, the love that you pour into them. But as soon as you set your boundaries to say, hey, not today, I ain't got it today, I ain't got the love, I ain't got the energy, I ain't got the time, and someone gets irritated with that, period. Period. Like, honestly, I spent the last 2 years setting really, really, really hard boundaries, and it made just about everybody in my life uncomfortable, except for me. And I'm great. Like, I have never been in a more happy, peaceful mind state in my life, and it's because I set my boundaries. Like, if this what this whole video is about today, that's what that is about, because I am so passionate and so serious about the need to set boundaries for everyone. Like, if you're not comfortable saying no, if you're not comfortable disappointing people, you are disappointing yourself, period. Because you continue to let people say, do, act, whatever, however they feel, because you're not setting your boundaries, knowing that it makes you uncomfortable, or knowing that it doesn't sit right with you, knowing that that's not what you're trying to do. That's not how you feel. That's not on your vibe. It's not aligning with you, but you're not speaking up about it. So if you don't teach people how to treat you, people are going to treat you how they want to. And that's no one's having that in 2023 and beyond. You're not finna come up over here and just talk to me, treat me, act toward me any kind of way and think that that's finna slide. Because it's not. Like, we've been working way too hard to heal ourselves, okay? We've been working way too hard to align ourselves with the best version of ourselves and really quantum leap into your best life. So if you're on your way to your best life, if you've been doing the work to heal yourself, do not, please, 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 do not allow people to trample over the work and the effort that you put in by not setting your boundaries. Because if you're not setting boundaries, you're just allowing yourself to continue to fall into the cycles that got you to this unhealed space in the first place, right? Like, if you're not setting your boundaries, because I feel like really the lessons and experiences that we go through in life are to help us figure out what we fucking with and what we not. And if you're not, you have to say that. Like, you have to speak up about it. And it might sever some ties. It might make people feel uncomfortable. It might make you a little uncomfortable, not gonna lie. But in reality, once it's done, it's done. Once it's said, it's said. And once that boundary is set, you're not repeating that cycle. Lesson over. Experiment ended. Because you already said no. What? That's it. That's it. Once you tell spirit and the universe, I'm not receiving this anymore, this does not align with me anymore, that's it. Like, we are the energy we create in this world. And if you're accepting certain energies from people, if you're accepting certain behavior from people that you know does not sit right with you, you are telling the universe that you're okay with this behavior. You're okay with this energy, and you're okay with repeating this cycle because you're not speaking up for yourself. Okay? I just went on a whole 20-minute rant about setting your boundaries. So, love yourself enough to set your boundaries. Respect your experiences, your growth, and your healing enough to set your boundaries. And anybody who does not respect those boundaries does not respect you, and they don't deserve to be in your light, in your love, and in your healing. Until next tea time, stay divine.